Alright, so here we go. So I'm recording this too because maybe somebody will find it interesting.
Yeah.
Control 2 on my hive. I'm gonna 13 pool, and then I'm going to scout with a couple lings because I don't know if the computer is going to try to wall off or not. I haven't played this map in a long time. So I 10 pool to my overlord. It's right about the 1 minute mark, which is fine. After you've done this like a million trillion times, you'll have it memorized. But basically there's builds online, sort of like there's builds for MMOs and other strategy games, where they tell you exactly like the minute marks all the way down to the second that you should have every single hoova. They'll also tell you that you should go scout with your overlord and shit, but that's suicide with terran.
Yeah, because
So I got my pull down at about the 1 minute 50-second mark. Yeah, by the time it gets over there, they'll have a marine.
yeah.
But you send your first one, which means if they kill it, which my brother always does, you get supply blocked. That's a really expensive amount of money. Granted, they go, well, it gives you valuable intel. Yeah. No, it doesn't. So, I made an extra drone, which is going to put me over if I try to build a queen. But usually what I do is I grab one of the extra drones to start my hatchery. To start my second hatchery. And then I should have enough for my queen here in just a second. The problem is that means I don't get the zerglings that I just said that I wanted. But, yeah, I made one too many drones. So that's something I'll have to remember for next time. But, that's okay. This isn't a bad start.
Yeah.
Put those on control 3. I'll check them out. So if I was playing against another person, this would already be too late and he would be walled off. The only way to guarantee that doesn't happen versus a computer, control 1 the queen, is you have to run over there with a drone and try to kill the SCVs that are walling off. And then reinforce that drone immediately with your lings. And then basically what you're trying to do is if you can kill even one SCV. Yeah, see, he's already got 2 marines. But he didn't try to wall off. So that's fine. I actually, since he didn't try to wall off, I'm not super concerned because he doesn't have a second base, which means he's a terran trying to one base. And I can park my lings here and he can't get around them. And even though he'll be able to kill those lings off, I will know they're coming. And I'm going roach. I'm going 2-base roach. And you see how I set my waypoints up? Hatcheries can have 2 waypoints. And, oh fuck man, I'm tired. And then I have, okay, so he's going Marine Marauder, and it looks like he's starting his second base. I must have accidentally had a ling there. You only need like 1 gas, really, for roaches. They don't take a lot. But you need tons of minerals and tons of overlords. And so I rotate through my hatcheries with the key to the left of my 1, because I had to rebind that key. Talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Marine Marauder is really hard to beat for Zerg. unless you do a bunch of fancy stuff. And that's an SCV, so he's scouting. Starting my roach ball. Upgrades, super important. And I'll start a second one. But you gotta have your gas production through the roof. Or, I mean your mineral production, sorry, because even though it looks like I have a lot of money right now, watch what happens like I'm gonna build, I think, God, I haven't done this in a while. See, is that what their ranged is? Yeah, it is, okay. Do. Freaking gas. There's the death ball cometh.
For the record, just started his second base.
Oh yeah, I know. I forgot to say that earlier. When they first started their Marine Marauder ball, they started their second base at the same time.
No, I mean he just now did.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like, it's still being built.
That's impressive. I thought he started it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm not sure if this is what you've been asking all along, but that's how I just pushed back his first attack. And so now I'm going to tier 2. And I'm going on the offensive. And I'm going to tier 2 to upgrade my roaches. That's why I don't have any gas. I notice I haven't built any spine crawlers. Okay, and that fucker's got tanks. And my lings did not quite make it. So I won't be able to bust that. But I've got him contained. And at least for a little bit. And I'm building up way too many minerals. But it's because I had my guys screwed up on the gas for just a second. Yeah, it only takes a little bit to screw this build up. So I have to upgrade. There we go.
Every time you have or always bind those to 3, like all of them.
Yeah, it's kind of half of an old habit and then half of a new habit that I'm trying to do, where even though this button right here selects them all, I like to have them all in another hotkey anyway. What?
Oh shit. Yeah. I'm looking at actions per minute. And he is currently between 100 and 130 at this, or like right now or something. But I can see he doesn't have anything bound to any keys because
computers don't need to do that. Their APM is cheat as fuck.
Yeah. What's EPM?
I don't know. I can't think of what that would be off the top of my head. Do you see how
You're
much
both doing pretty good at it.
Yeah. Do you see how fast, like roaches eat up minerals?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Oh. Shit. Fucking seeker mines. Really? I just ate up about half my army. But also why it's so important to... Aha!
I was gonna tell you that, but then I thought, I'll figure it out.
It's okay. It means I'm not a scrub.
You heard it? Zombies coming up right behind you. I'm like,
That's fine. Those lings are my throwaway units.
Yeah, makes sense. Lings are almost quite literally a diamond peasant.
Yeah, they're just expensive enough, though, to where you don't want to completely throw them away. Oh my goodness, Ringo, not now! That's about all of the drones I'm going to make for the entire game. The rest of them, they're all just going to be recycled from base to base.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go roach hydra instead of making air because it's going to frag my brain to make air. So these are changelings. They're pretty cool. That's my little speed thing so I can get my overlords to move faster. Okay. Fucking point defense drones. That's another thing that computers can do. Human beings, most of them, unless they're super duper pooper scooper, can't keep up all that different fucking micro at the same time. And see, he's making turrets to defend against mutas, but he's a cheating bastard. He knows I'm not making mutas. So this is going to be called a run-through. I suckered him. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of guys. I'm going to be running through, which is going to pull all of his guys back. And then I'm going to run through again, build a bunch of guys. Whoops. Do this. He's going to have to keep the guys, and he's going to have to fight that off. And then I'm going to kill this. And then he's going to have to go deal with that.
Did he make the computer split his brain in half?
Yeah, and so he's going to have to go take care of that. I'm going to go do this. He is going to have to split his army again, but you can't forget to do this. And then these drones, like they need to go do something else. So I have him contained here, and I'm gonna be able to finish that off, and I'm gonna just fall back again because I don't want to lose this army right now. So that was a really, really complicated way of doing something that should be very simple, but that's how Zerg works, unfortunately.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But people say like Zerg's OP and shit. But it's like, do you know how much I just fucking had to do while the Terran just kind of putted around? Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people say snipers are OP, but I mash my sniper like I used to mash my marauder.
Oh shit, little fuckers. Okay, good. I had a backup army. That is probably it for him.
Pretty much.
Except he killed one of my queens, which fucking pisses me off.
It's actually not.
Oh yeah, he does have another.
Yeah, pretty much it.
Okay, come on, Queenie. And this is why 2-player is nice, because like my brother can watch the map and tell me what's going on while I fucking micro my base.
Yeah.
I ran out of overseers, didn't I?
You can kill one of them earlier. I guess.
Yeah. I need those because what happens is he'll put, I forgot what they're called, these little mine doodads in the ground, and if you're not paying attention, they work just like lurkers. Oh, you fucking dick. No! I moved him around and, yeah.
That's funny, actually. I thought he was going to be a total dick computer because he had one SCP left and it was on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's the one he was scouting me with at the beginning. So, did you kind of see what I did? Was that what you were asking? Like how to beat a Terran, like, hard computer?
My problem was that I wasn't getting the right kind of army. I was getting, let's see, you had hydralisks. I was doing mostly lings and what was the other one? Roaches, and eventually
I think roach can work, but you've got to transition some of your lings into banelings at some point, which takes a whole extra clusterfuck of micro. The one big difference I should have been able to make is micro my guys away from his seeker mines. But I went to grab my hydra, and for some reason I grabbed all my hydras, and I don't know why. Otherwise that would have gone different, but... What?
He doesn't have more units, but he does have one more structure.
Oh, I see it. I see it finally. That's why the whole, like, revealed, ooh, it's like... Even though I have it the color red, it still does not... I think in Warcraft 3 what it would do is every minute or so, like a little beacon or something would go off. I can't remember, but anyway. I don't normally do that, I'm just doing that because we're still talking, but... So that was one way. Do you want me to try to beat him with a different... Because there's a couple compositions that work really well. Like, I could have just made a bunch of banelings and just rammed banelings right into his base. Or I could have done an early roach push and just pushed roaches right into his base. But those are both timing pushes, which is what I was going to do. But I decided to just beat him as conventionally as possible. Because, see, the big difference here is, like, well, these guys are 2-0, which isn't a good example, but, oh yeah, I fucking killed almost all my hydras with that stupid seeker. But yeah, these guys are 2-2. It's a lot of damage.
What does that mean?
2-2.
Well,
The, oh, that's right, you can't see my fucking screen. My hydralisks are Zerg ground carapace, that's their armor. That means they take reduced damage. And their needle spines, that's their ranged attack. It does additional damage. And then I also, at the hydralisk den, increase their speed and range. So they do crazy damage.
Cool.
Whereas, watch what happens when the zergling tries to kill it. La 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 la. 2 zerglings. La 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 la. It takes forever. They'd be so dead. Because the range is insane. The range is all the way back here. Yeah, I mean, the zerglings would be dead before they even got to them. So. Oh, another cool thing on this map, if you want to be a super dick. I just remembered this. You can shoot these things. And then they have to attack that to destroy it. So, if they wanted to, they could have blocked off that ramp that way. And then I would have had to attack the ramp this way.
Oh.
Or I would have had to... No, because that's walled off too. I would have only been able to... Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, let me think of another way to beat them.
What?
Let's look at the score first.
Yeah.
This stuff's not super secret. It's just really hard to weed out the bullshit that people spew and then, like, how to actually apply it. Because people talk a lot of shit. You can almost never back it up.
Yeah. It doesn't show your build order until just about 1 minute.
I know, that's stupid. But that's why I record.
Yeah.
So if you look at the army value on the graph screen, this is the thing with Zerg versus Terran. It says that my army value is on par with his almost the whole time. But in reality, it's not. Terran army value is way underrated, and Zerg army value is way overrated. So that's why I said I had to practically have twice as much as him. Actually, and almost 3 times as much. Because if you look at the unit score, look at units trained. Bitch only had to train 149 units. I had to train 416. Out of those 416, I only killed 147 of his units, but he killed 223 of mine. And it wasn't like it was a bad matchup or anything. Like the battles. I mean, that was a pretty traditional thing that I threw at him. So, it's not like I can micro whatever the fuck devours. I don't know. It's not like I can micro any special units when I'm already microing 3 units and try not to get blown up by seeker mines and everything. So the unit thing's totally messed up when you look at the army value. But what it does show you is, because I was managing my larva, I could engage him at the 1200-ish mark. I engaged him. He lost virtually nothing in that engagement. You see that?
Yeah.
But I immediately, in 30 seconds, had a second army of that size. And there's no way he could stop it a second time.
Yeah.
Because I had him out of position at that point. Because Terran is terrible at splitting armies. Absolutely terrible. They only operate as like a giant death ball. That's why when like Nolan's holding a forward position, they can always go snipe his base. And that's why I'm usually on either base defense or base offense. But if you're playing, you can be on base defense and you could have a defensive force. I could have an offensive force, and then he could hold a position so we have an engagement point. But Terran 1v1, they get fucked up really bad.
By the way, actually, I would be really good at base defense if I built pylons all around our base, and then warped in our units everywhere. Or my units, yeah.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times, just a couple stalkers, especially if you get really good at blinking, you can, like, snipe, especially if they're trying to fly, like, do drops.
Yeah.
If you, like, snipe a couple of those, they'll just rage quit. I mean, it sucks. And stalkers are really good against mutas.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, stalkers are pretty good against anything.
Yeah. That's kind of why I like Protoss. Well, they get a really good ranged unit early on, and I guess Terran does too, but I like Protoss more.
Yeah. Check out resource collection really quick, or if you're still at the.
No, actually, I'm not still in it.
Okay, so resource collection. We're both kind of like bobbling around a little bit. Terran usually goes up in huge spikes as it's doing its mule drops, but at the like 1100 mark, his resources drop almost down to 0. And that's when I hit his bases. And it's because I hit basically all of his bases at the same time.
Yeah.
They can only, if they're lucky, they can only defend 2. Once they've hit that third base, they're so vulnerable. What they usually have to do is make those fort things. But the more they make those fort things, then the less comsat stations they get, which means they don't get mules and scans and the supply depot drops anymore. So then they're pretty much stuck, and you just contain them. And then upgrade spending, we're both. He beat me a little bit, then I beat him a little bit, then he beat me a little bit, and then that was that. And then workers active. This is the bullshit right here. They don't need as many workers because they can just do mule drops over and over and over.
Yeah.
And so he was operating, which is stupid because Zerg need more food, right? Since their units are weaker and they have to mass them, but instead they get less. It's stupid. So
Yeah.
and their worker production has to share with their food production, which has to share their army production, which the other two don't have to do. But once I hit my worker limit, about 65 workers, those workers last me through the whole entire game, and I could make almost an unlimited army about every 30 seconds. Over and over and over and over. So, anyway, okay, sorry, enough rambling, here we go.